All right, here we are. Game 2 between NaBs and CZ or CZ. Like Dave and I explained, they will be flip-flopping positions and civilizations. The colors, unfortunately, will be different, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to follow. But Dave, take it away.
Yeah, so basically opposite of last game. Like he said, you flip the spots. The only difference, and this is a big deal, the other team knows exactly who's where now.
Yeah, because they picked it,
So
correct?
yeah, so they saw, unless they did hidden civs, which I think they didn't do, they know what player and what civ is where. So like, let's take Africa for example. Nick took Saracens on Africa because he's probably their strongest player, and he knows that Yannick is Mongols on Spain. So if Yannick tries to do that forward dock business again, Nick is probably going to go for a really fast up and try and almost equal his time. He won't be as fast as the Mongols, but he is Saracen, so his ships attack faster. He has that nice sea bonus. So he'll know what's coming before it even hits him. So that's a very important element here.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's you're always thinking about what will happen because the map's always the same, so it's all strategy. Let's talk about the other players, but real quick, I want to thank Tato for that host. Everybody joining from Tato's stream. This is the Europe 3v3 tournament. We have NaBs versus CZ. We have Tato actually is playing in that tournament on another team, so you should definitely pay attention to this. You also start with a sheep with Europe, if you're unfamiliar with it. So, Dave, could you explain what exactly the sheep does for the players?
So the sheep you use for scouting, and basically what they're going to do, since they already know, like usually in a team game, you'd scout out the spots to see who was where and what civ is where. But since they already know where the players are, what they're going to do is use their sheep to like or scout the sneaky spots that someone could hide a dock.
Oh, yeah,
Because
that's a
the
good
map's
point.
always the same. They're going to use it in that kind of area and to scout their own shoreline so they know where they're going to put their dock and they don't have to waste time exploring with villagers. You can see where Nick has his scout or his sheep. Sorry, not scout. It basically is the scout. He
Yeah.
has it up on the southern side of Spain, so he's probably going to bring it down a bit later to make sure that Yannick actually docks that position.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, right where we talked about, right in this area next to the gold. Yeah, that's a good point. So, Nick has played this more than any other NaBs player, correct?
Yes.
Now, is he one of those fancy RMers that started here? Or
Yeah, so he started as a Age of Kings scenario player, and then he transitioned into Europe, and then he went to RM. So
that's
he
awesome.
is very familiar. He's been playing this map since like 2005, maybe.
Yeah, that's
A long
awesome.
time.
Okay, so what is everybody else doing? Are we going to see similar strategies to last time? I see. Looks like Error was trying to forward wall, and that's been denied by Pike. And Pike's going to try and forward wall now.
Yeah, so the reason Pike is walling there, probably he chased Air away, which is a big deal because that's a lot of idle time to send your villager over there. And to get chased away like that, it's never conducive to a really good start. And I think Pike actually might, since he walled so far forward, he actually might drop docks on that side. He does have
Okay.
one on the other side currently, so it's less likely now, but it's still a possibility for him.
Yeah, Pike is also Japanese, so as Japanese, he's going to be more inclined to put more fishing ships out because they have that armor. So we'll see what he chooses to do, but very good points here, Dave. What about the other players at the top side? Skull and the Red playing as Aztecs versus Spaden playing as Persians.
So Skull's gonna have a pretty standard start here. He's gonna go for C. He's already taken 3 boars, which is really, really weird considering he doesn't even have a dock up yet. You can see his inexperience here, and he's also taking deer. So I don't know if he's gonna try for a really, really fast up, but usually you want your dock way earlier, way before you take your 3rd boar and the deer.
Yeah, that's probably a good guess. My guess is if he's taking the boar, like the natural food early, He's trying to get away with a fast uptime, and then maybe back to what you said in game 1, if he does win the water, he can afford to get fishing ships out later. But we'll see. You can see he's sending the food into his TC, so I think that'll happen. The other
Yeah, and
player's gonna be...
Yannick.
Yep.
Wow. That's a really fast up for Yannick. That's almost a minute and a
Oh!
half faster than Nick was last game.
I just kind of casually looked over and saw that he was on his way up. You're right, man. That is really fast, and that might be what CZ needs here to get a fast start. Now, to point out to the stream, he did not dock forward, which is something Nick might have been looking for with that sheep. I'm not sure where it went. Not important now. He's docking on the left, and this choke point is really important. We're going to see Yannick build another dock, and he's going to grush way ahead of Nick down here. In fact, Nick has not even clicked yet.
Yeah, Nick actually went for the hidden docks. Do you see the dock in the middle?
Oh
So,
my gosh.
I
that's
didn't
sick.
notice this. Nick went. You have to go really early if you want to get there from Africa.
Yeah.
Like really early, and I think Nick is just capitalizing on the fact that he knows CZ isn't as experienced in the map. So
Okay.
he's gone there, and then he's also put one on the other side. So it'd be interesting to see whether he puts 2 more there and then goes Navy up there to help Spaden against Skull.
That's really impressive. I think he's going to dock again. Really impressive play. Guys, I'll show you before the action starts. He walled here, and normally the assumption is that the player in Africa will stay in Africa. But he sent a villager this direction, all around. And maybe that's why he had the sheep there, because he didn't want to be scouted. But regardless, he found this one area that only experienced players would think of going towards. He has safe fish there that will not be raided there. And he's docked at the top. So we'll keep track of this villager, Dave. But I think he's going to go for another dock on the other side of this bridge.
Yeah, and that's really bad for CZ because you can see Yannick is frantically searching Africa, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Where the heck? I went up at 11 minutes, and I haven't killed anything." And whenever that happens, you're kind of sitting there like, oh God, this is awful. I'm so far behind in eco-wise now.
Yeah.
But he is going to Pike, and Pike is sending those 2 ships around are going to be horribly out of position. He's going around to Error, and Yannick's already had his docks. So the good thing for Pike is that he has the Japanese fishing ships, so like they can just look at this. There's tank damage. Crazy.
It is crazy. And it's really going to help Pike here because he would have lost all of these by now. He actually kept that one alive. And he's going to need more numbers here to take this fight. But yeah, Dave, I am very impressed with what Nick did there. We'll see if that works out for him because he's just going to fast castle for sure. And
Pike is running his fishing ships, and he actually sent 2 around to Error, which is good. But if you notice, Error is planning on booming because he sent another villager up top, and he's got like 10 fishing ships up there.
So this is what's exciting about Europe, guys, because we saw the exact same civilizations and positions in Game 1, but yet we're seeing completely different choices this time, and it's going to dictate the play of the game. So, like you said, very good pickoff from Pike, but he's probably wondering, okay, why does this guy not have galleys, and where are his other fish?
And you can tell by his score that he does have other fish. So Pike must be just thinking, oh crap, I've already lost my fishing ships. I have a ton of green galleys at my docks. Like no food income except for those deer, which run out really, really quickly. And he's getting his wood line hit by the galleys as well.
Well, right now I'm watching Skull and Spaden fight at the top. And it looks like a small victory for Spaden at the moment.
Spaden has way more fishing ships than Skull as well. And Skull has already started dropping farms, which you don't want to do. If you're in a sea battle, you never want to drop farms because that's just a waste of wood.
Yeah, and
if you're
this
forced
goes back
into doing
to
that, it's very bad.
This goes back to our convo about getting the boars really early. Like, did his fast uptime pay off? And lack of fishing ships? Well, at this point, I don't think so. Level on numbers, but just like we saw last game, very hard to fight in this choke point. Then we're going to see some galley micro or just some patrols maybe. And then we're going to see Castle Age upgrades, believe it or not, for Nick and then Error.
Yeah, and Nick has just made one dock in that little area, and he's made some fishing ships. But there is a possibility he could make fire ships in Castle Age, and Skull's going to be in feudal for quite a long time, so those would be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, at the moment he's not making any fires, but what he did do with this one sneak villager is he built 2 stables, and now he's building a siege workshop. So he's going to try and pressure Yannick, and Yannick is 25% of the way up to the castle age at the moment. So he's going to be up against knights with +2, and this is not going to be good because these knights can get right through this wall.
Yeah. This is Yannick needs to see that, but he obviously doesn't see it. He has walled, so he knows that Nick snuck a villager up, and it's somewhere. He just doesn't know where it is.
Yeah, well, we're going to see a really strong push from Nick, I feel, because he's going for the monastery, so he can transition into monks and siege as well. So this is not going to be easy. Meanwhile, at the top, it does look like Spaden's holding on for the moment. He's going to hit the castle age well before Skull, and it does not look like this is going well for CZ right now. At least on the left side.
Skull could kill all his fish before he hits castle age, which is a big deal, because he's almost out of deer, and once he loses those fish, he's not going to have much food income in castle age.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I don't think Skull can hold this position on his docks for very long.
Well, Yannick's not going to be able to help him out because...
Uh-oh. Panic. 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 Wall it up. Wall it up. Panic. No! Nick has +2. He doesn't care. He'll just run right under your TC.
Yeah, this is awful for Yannick, but... losing 3 villagers, 3 mangonels, this is what fast speed and strategy choices can do to you, man. What should Yannick do in this situation?
Yannick should have stonewalled like crazy. Like, just
what should he do
everything.
now? What should he do now? Should he transport these villagers away?
Do now... He can get out with some villagers. Like, he has some at the top. He can go north. But right now, I think what he has to do is just delay. And he's doing a good job with his ships, actually picking off a few knights over there.
Yeah,
but I feel like Nick is so invested in this push right now. He's got 3 mangonels, couple monks, bunch of knights, +2. Yannick just needs to delay him as long as he can and prevent Nick from going over to his allies.
Now, I need to point this out.
If Nick hits Skull, that's bad.
This is very different to standard RM. In standard RM, in this situation, the team might be thinking about calling GG. Though it's not good for them, Yannick's teammates are doing a great job right now, and there's so many resources all around this map that you can always relocate. We might see Yannick do that.
Well, I mean, if he's talking to his teammates, then he knows the error is on the way up to Imperial Age right now.
Yeah. Wow.
As 50 villagers. Yeah. 3 TCs on the way up to Imperial Age. That's what fish does for you. Look how many fish he has on the top side. Don't need to put any farms down. Yeah. It's crazy. And I think he's going to drop a castle, maybe? He's sending a bunch of villagers into Pike. This is going to be really bad for Pike.
Well, Pike isn't even close to the fishing ship count. He's at 11, so he's 18 down. Error is definitely going to be thinking about a castle, I think. He is Chinese, so he could probably go Chukanus and Trebs. And... while one player, I was going to say, while one of CZ players is dying, it looks like another player on the other side doing pretty well.
Yeah, and Skull's up to Castle Age now, dropping the 2nd TC. Skull did a really good job against Spaden, I have to say. I didn't expect the Persian player to lose that engagement, but then again, Spaden is dropping his 4th TC right now as Persians, so he's going to be pretty beastly here. And Aztecs really don't have a shot against Persians in the late game.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things going on. It's played in fast speed, so I can only imagine what it's like to play and trying to implement all these different strategies and everything. But Error is definitely going for that castle drop, Dave. He's just placed that, and he's gonna need to do something early in the Imperial Age, I think, before Pike is able to, defend a bit. Pike is Japanese, building
Pike's
Monastery University.
Trouble. Yeah. That the Monastery University looks like Pike wants to click up, but why? What's he gonna do? I feel like fortified wall would be such a better tech right now.
Maybe
Like
he's gonna
just
do that.
do the same thing Yannick tried to do and just delay as long as you can until Nick and especially Spaden can get into the game and start doing some damage.
Well, where did Yannick end up going? Did he transport away?
He sent all his villagers down there, so he's got
Down below, yeah.
he's got a lumber camp. He's making a market. The one thing for Yannick is that he still has fishing ships, so he still has an eco. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He doesn't have
just
to
a little
waste
bit of
wood
food coming
on
in.
dropping the farms, so he can use it to make way more TCs and whatnot. And it looks like Skull is attributing him some resources to drop more TCs, so he's gonna drop like 2 more pretty soon.
Okay, well, a transport around from Error, sending in Chukunus, that's really smart. Instead of busting down the wall, just transporting. He's going to build another castle, and I'm looking at the Vil counts, and the viewers should as well. Look at the Vil, the military, the fish. It does look like this is an even game. With Yannick down, so is Pike, and he is clicking to Imp and a TC that should be safe for the time being, right next to this large army from Nick, and Nick is actually going to move all the way up and attack a Skull, who is Aztecs, and he's going to struggle a bit.
Yeah, the thing that's really bad about this for Skull is that Skull's matchup is the Persian player, right? And Spaden already has 4 TCs, so if he has to waste time defending against Nick, and he actually might die to Nick,
Yeah, seriously.
giving Persians a free boom, and that's not good at all. He needs the panic wall, and he's doing it right now. He needs to get fortified wall. That's what he needs.
Yeah, get some T90 walls, right? But
I'm talking like 40 layers of wall. Like he needs to go right
The
now.
chat can
Delete
do
the
it.
farm. Just
The
do
chat can do
everything
it.
you can to stop this. Another layer. That's good. Complete it. Complete it. Complete it. Complete it.
he's
Yeah,
shy,
so
man.
that'll delay Nick a bit.
Well, Onager's already coming in for Nick, so we are going to see Siege Onager after that, I imagine. More castles coming in from Error. Question is he going to be able to push through all these walls that Pike is now building? Because Pike is trying to stop the Chukunus looping around with these villagers. Was it enough? Well, we have some Onagers, soon-to-be Onagers from Nick, waiting. So, a lot of things to focus on right now. But this is giving Spaden some time in the blue to boom up, like you said, at the top for the NaBs team. Then we have Yannick, who was, well, looked like out of the game. He's rebooming because he has some time as well.
Yeah, Yannick's got 2 TCs here and 3 TCs actually. A bit sloppy from Nick to leave him in the game. But I guess he didn't know that he was on the bottom side there. But yeah, Pike is having such a bad time here. Like, you look at how dead Yannick was. Pike is more dead than Yannick is at this point. If you look at the populations
And the position as well. He could be sandwiched later in this game once the other players get
big
involved.
Onager shots on the Chukunus. Oh no!
It's crazy that the Chukunus can receive so many shots. But yeah, that was not very good.
Yeah. The one thing Pike does have though, he has those Japanese fishing ships, so he has a lot of fish. So which means he can reboom quite quickly if he wants to.
Well,
But
Skull's gonna have to run away, and he does have some monks, but these monasteries will go down. Looks like he's researching redemption, so he might try and convert some of these onagers. But man, what a fast-paced game.
Yeah, and I mean, now Pike is making... What is that TC from Pike at the entrance to Skull's base? Now Nick can't get reinforcements in there if he wants to.
Well, he can run underneath the TC once it's up.
Oh, I guess so, once it's up, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Really weird TC. So,
Maybe...
Bomber Towers from Error. Good move.
Oh man, some friendly fire there. Nick just lost 2 of his SOs and could lose more. The monks microing for Skull. What is this?
Convert! Convert!
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
man.
no, all the villagers are going down too. He's in him.
Jeez.
Oh, and he can't fit any more vills in the TC.
You're
No.
not kidding. More villagers going down. Yeah, not good for Skull. But this has just completely turned around. Skull was in a good position. Now he's at 38 villagers below Yannick. And oh, we could see more dead bodies here. Oh, they have to die. There's no way they'll survive.
Oh no, those vills at the stone?
Yeah. Destroyed. Wrecked,
Less
man.
than 20 villagers now almost.
That's
He's
awful.
dying.
23 population. That changes the game.
But Error is just going beast mode right now. Like Error has the Bombard Tower set up in the Pike's old base, which will essentially prevent Nick from pushing in until he gets siege ran. And I guess they're calling it.
They are calling it.
Yeah. I guess they knew the Persians were boomed.
Yeah, that's the thing. We were going to be looking at Spade in here in the blue. Would you go War Elephants or would you go Paladin?
Oh, War
by the
Elephants
way.
for sure. War
Okay.
Elephants.
Yeah,
But
so
I
he
mean,
was getting closer.
if actually in a game like this, I might go Paladins because two of the Yannick and Skull are both out of it, so you just need to damage Error, and you don't need you're not versus 3 players.
Okay.
So you see he dropped 4 stables at the top, and that might actually have been why they quit. Maybe they saw that.
Jeez, I don't know. These guys, like I'm watching the game, trying to focus on the minimap. I don't know how these guys do everything so fast. I see the stables here now, but I didn't even see that earlier. Excuse me. But
Yeah. Well
anyway.
played, really well played from Error there. That
Yeah,
was a
he
good
did a good job.
strategy.
He did a good job.
Yannick did well killing Pike's Fish. And Skull did really well winning that water battle against Spaden, but Nick just had a better strategy choice than the other team.
Yeah, and it comes down to experience. Obviously, the level of play is important as well, but I was more impressed, probably because I've never seen it before, but I was really impressed with Nick's position with that first dock, with the safe fish, because that changes so much when you're in Africa and you're somewhat stranded down here. If you lose your fishing ships, you can be completely out of it or really far behind. So he snuck a villager. Not only did that villager help him with the safe fish out of 2 docks, but it helped with that attack, which pushed Yannick out of the game. So that was really cool to see.
Such a ballsy play on a tournament game to do that.
Yeah.
Like in tournament games, you usually want to play it safe unless you know you're the underdog. You usually want all 3 of your players going C. That's a safe play to do that, because if you lose your fish, you're so far behind.
Yeah, it's true. So it worked out, and we can applaud him for it. It would have been the other way around if it didn't work out. So that's the high risk, high reward game you play sometimes. Let's look at the achievements. But NaBs is now up 2-0, and man, Nick, 132 units
The
killed.
KD.
Half of these were probably villagers on the enemy team because the
Yeah.
Skull lost so many vills and Yannick as well. But
Well, he
that
didn't kill
KD
any
is insane.
fish.
That's true.
He was in the middle, so
Okay, so then the eco stats as well. Error had a huge boom, but unfortunately his team could not hold on. Wow.
yeah, he was beast moding. He had so many fish up there. I don't think he didn't even have to make a farm. Like,
What was it, 30 fishing ships in the end or something like that? Yeah, that's a lot. Safe the entire time, but guys, we are going to be getting into game 3.